I'm Robert Firpo-Cappiello, Editor-in-Chief at Hospitality Technology. Welcome to our MURTEC 2022 Content Hub, sponsored by Fortinet. Fortinet, of course, was a platinum sponsor of our MURTEC conference, a sponsor of our day one keynote with John Taffer, and in many ways, Fortinet just felt woven into the fabric of the event, and I am so pleased to welcome Courtney Radke, CISO National Retail at Fortinet. Court, welcome.
Hey, Robert, thank you for having me.
I want to give you a minute to introduce yourself and your mission to our MURTEC Content Hub audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Courtney Radke. I'm the CISO for our retail and hospitality group here at Fortinet. We have a dedicated retail team, which is kind of unique in the industry, and that's what my team does, is focuses solely on retail. So most organizations know Fortinet as the cybersecurity company, and it's for good reason. But what we really are focusing on is helping restaurants solve their challenges, solve their business problems, and making sure that our technology equates just to that. So we kind of see three areas of what really our mission is for restaurants right now, and that's helping them marry the physical and digital. We heard that as a prevailing topic, whether it's cloud or IoT or robotics, what have you. We're trying to solve for those challenges. Solving for the challenge of the reimagined workforce, whether that's the people behind the counter in the restaurants or the people supporting the restaurants back in corporate offices or at home. And then just really creating safe avenues to onboard technology, right? Onboarding third-party technologies and making smarter, more efficient, more secure supply chains. That's really our mission. That's really what we talked about at MURTEC, and that's really our goal for 2022 is those things, right? Physical, digital, reimagined workforce, and bringing on third-party technology securely.
Now, one of the fun things about MURTEC is everybody getting together, sharing ideas, and it feels very social in many ways. But we also sort of keep a running list of takeaways and especially key challenges, especially challenges maybe on the horizon. And I'd love to pick your brain for a minute about what were some key takeaways from the event for you, and especially maybe some challenges people need to be aware of.
Yeah, and it was nice for the first time in a couple of years to get back together at MURTEC and hear firsthand what organizations have done from a technology standpoint to move forward, to continue to get through and out of the pandemic. And you hit the nail on the head. There's been some challenges that have been brought on by it. That rapid adoption of technology, I think it was often done out of necessity. And then there were some things that had to be unraveled from a security standpoint later on down the road. So what we saw, over the last several years is this exponential growth in digital transformation, customer experience technologies. And it was really challenges twofold. They'd either left the legacy infrastructure in the dust and it couldn't support it, or it got above its skis, in front of its skis, and then security was kind of an afterthought. So when the infrastructure was left in, a state of decay almost, and you layered all these things off of it, it inhibited growth. You couldn't scale quickly, and it was really harder to secure and much more expensive. And then expanding on that, we heard everybody really the buzz of security. Hey, I want to learn more about security. Security is getting more talk about in the board. It's coming to the forefront, which is a fantastic thing. It's a great thing. Because it's absolutely critical, as you said, be woven into the fabric of everything within the restaurant. But a lot of companies are behind, very much so, years. And so with the threat landscape increasing, with threats becoming more sophisticated, becoming faster, it's great that we're hearing restaurants wanting to, impress security as a number one priority within the organization. But there's some catch-up work that needs to be done. So I think, those were some of the challenges that we heard about is I have all this technology. I scaled it out there really quickly. Maybe it doesn't integrate very well. Maybe I don't have a lot of automation or people to run it. And then it also brought on security concerns. It brought on gaps. I lost my visibility. Those are some of the, the things that we've heard from challenges. And really the goals that they had we summed them up into four kind of key areas. And that was optimize. We brought all this stuff on. Let's optimize. Let's optimize the technology investments that we've made, optimize around cost, make it last, make it predictable, make the right decisions up front, and it'll pay for itself down the road. And then there was also standardization, as we just talked about. Restaurants have been really at the forefront of kind of subscribing to digital transformation and customer experience technologies, but a lot of it's been done with a point product approach, meaning I buy this one thing to do this one thing, and they don't integrate very well. So we're wanting to, make sure that organizations are moving into technology standardization, not just from a X's and O's standpoint, but from the architecture, from the process, from the mindset that you need to build platforms, not necessarily product-based approaches. That gains you the third thing of operational efficiency. There's not more people. There's more technology, but the cyber skills gap, the skills gap, the labor shortage in general means I don't have as many people to run these new technologically advanced restaurants that I've built. So we need to make sure that we're building in automation into that. And of course, as we talk about, we're a security company. We want security to be a cornerstone, and it has to be ingrained in everything that they're doing. So as they optimize, as they standardize and gain this, more efficiency, they want to make sure that they're doing it with security effectiveness in mind.
I was hearing similar things in some conversations I was having, people I was meeting at the event, this notion of infrastructure and security being at the table at the beginning when things are being ideated, as opposed to sort of like, oh, now let's bring in infrastructure and security. It really has to be on the ground floor. And I would love to talk another minute or two if you have some ideas about solutions. We always enjoy hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, it was interesting. Again, you brought up this concept of woven into a fabric, and a lot of in the industry they've been talking about this things called like a cybersecurity mesh, or just making sure that people, processes, devices, technology, all of these things talk together, all of them share information, all of them make the environment better. What we call it is the security fabric. We've kind of been iterating on this for 20 years now, broad, integrated, automated. And it's not every single product in your organization has to be a Fortinet product. In fact, we have an open ecosystem where we talk to other, vendors in the environment. But the point is to make it more consumable, to make it easier to roll out these platforms at scale, to secure these organizations. So, we have kind of two areas we do that, and it's things that were talked about at MURTEC. It's convergence. My network and security teams didn't talk before. They were kind of siloed. Well, now they're kind of coming together, and we call this security-driven networking, where network feeds into security, security is securing the network, and they all work together in tandem. That's real-time information sharing. That's that automation, because we don't have enough people. And it's just increasing the efficacy and the efficiency of the investments that you made. So that's kind of that convergence of network and security in the what you have. It's not network, it's not just security, it's both, because they're equally important. But then we talk about the consolidation standpoint of, we've done our own studies. There's studies out there that show, organizations have 30 plus technology vendors inside of their organization, and they're looking to consolidate, moving away from that point product and more into that platform approach. So we talk about bringing those, number of partners in the organization down to a manageable amount, hopefully making sure that they talk together, that they work together, that you reduce costs, reduce overhead, but also, again, increase your security effectiveness. This threat landscape is getting very, very broad, because now we're talking about the users at home. We're talking about the branch, the data center, the cloud, really everywhere your users are, everywhere the customer is, everywhere data is. We need to make sure that we have visibility across that. And that's hard to do with a lot of vendors in the environment that don't talk to each other. So the idea of this fabric, interconnectedness, automation, integration, that's where we're really moving forward with the consolidation story and then the convergence story. It normally starts at the branch for us. So we heavily highlighted our SD branch solution with SD-WAN at MURTEC, but it kind of goes, again, further than that. Whether you're securing your users at home, branch, data center, cloud, there's really kind of a Fortinet solution for all of that, all taking consolidation and convergence into mind.
Exciting stuff. Courtney Radke from Fortinet, thank you. And thank you to Fortinet for sponsoring our MURTEC 2022 Content Hub.
Absolutely, Robert. Thank you for having me.